Yeah, I'll show you how to get it, but you have to be willing to do the work. The Syndicate, it's a motherfucking movement.
You ain't gotta be perfect, long as you down to put the work in. If when it comes to the bullshit you allergic, well, you just might be my kind of person. Welcome to the Syndicate, where real estate wholesaling is what the business is. Ain't gotta talk about it when you out here living it. So if you out here getting it, then welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate.
Hey, if you've been binge watching YouTube, listening to every podcast, and you still haven't closed the deal, this episode is for you. So many people I talk to, so many people I see, they get stuck in this like information gathering phase. And this might be you. If it is, definitely make sure you check this one out because it's easy to get there, right? There's so much information out there, and we just get overloaded, right? Analysis paralysis, and we see it. We see it at some of our our events. We see it doing webinars and trainings for different people, and there are these people. They show up all the time. They're super excited. They're learning and learning and learning, but they're never taking action, so they never actually end up closing deals. And if this is you, you just have to, the first step to fixing anything, right, is awareness. So you have to be aware of, where you're actually at. Are you taking action? Are you trying to implement what you learned? Or are you just kind of stuck there because you're getting that quick dopamine hit of feeling like you're doing something and, it's not enough, right? You have to take action and you have to win. I'm going to show you how to get out of that information overload phase into the action phase and start actually closing deals, making money, because that's what this is all about, right? This is, it's fun. There's fun, great content out there you can watch. There's so many people out there doing cool things, but until you actually get in the game yourself, what are you doing? You can't sit on the sidelines forever. If you're brand new, you just found a wholesale, it's a week or two. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the people who've done this for months, right? They've been months and months, maybe even longer. Where they're just waiting and waiting, and they're just learning and learning, and they're, jumping from thing to thing and not getting anywhere, right? Because it's a shitty place to be. And eventually those people get burned out and they quit, right? Because it only gets you there. You can only stay there so long before you get frustrated. So really let's look into, why this happens, right? Great things like it's because you feel productive, right? You feel like you're getting that dopamine hit. It feels like you're doing something. It feels like you're making progress, but you're really not. If you're not making offers, you're just spectating. You're just sitting on the sidelines. And there's so many people, like I said, we see stuck in that trap, but you can get out of it. You just have to, one, be aware, and you have to take action and follow the steps I'm going to share with you here. So let's break it down even deeper. So what is taking action? What does that look like, right? Because it's easy to say, hey, don't do this, but you also have to know what to do. So, what taking action is, and it's that stuff it's like you don't want to do, right? It's the stuff you're like, oh, when it comes to getting everything neat and organized and getting your website perfect and your logos and your script and getting everything there and watching all the courses, it's that thing you're procrastinating. And what those actions are, it's making calls, right? It's talking to sellers, knocking on doors, following up, doing the actual work, right? Doing the stuff that moves the needle. Because if you're not doing that, you're really not making any progress. And that's why it's so important to have good measurable KPIs. And it's better to, jump in and do things, imperfect action, I guess is the best way to call it. It's better to jump in and take imperfect action and fail than it is to just keep waiting and waiting until everything's perfect. And the longer you procrastinate, the more you build this up in your head, the harder it's going to be. You really just have to make that shift, right? And if you've been putting it off for a while, it's going to seem insurmountable. But I promise, once you start doing it and you make it a habit, it's really not that bad, right? There's really not that many bad things that can happen to you on a phone call. There's really not that many bad things that can happen to you, door knocking or whatever, talking to sellers, however you want to get in front of them, or, sending that text message or whatever. Like the worst thing that's going to happen is someone hangs up on you, get a damn door slammed in your face and, or someone cusses you out. That's really the worst case scenario. So like, what are we so afraid of, right? Like and it happens, I've been in sales for my whole adult life. And, even before that, not, but like professionally in sales, my whole adult life, right? Ever since I was 18, I've been in sales. And even now, if I take a break, I get that same feeling. I like to call it call reluctance, that like if I don't do it, it just becomes like this insurmountable thing I don't want to do, right? I think of all the other things I have to do, and I catch myself, slowly starting to procrastinate and like, trying to trick myself and doing all these other things, right? Because there's always something else you could be doing, right? There's always another YouTube video you could watch. There's always another, email you could change, or a little tweak you could make, or whatever, another course you can buy. But really, you just have to, one, realize it's happening, realize you're in that phase, and just make the call, right? It's the simplest, easiest way to just pick up the phone and dial. And more than likely, if you just make one call, someone's probably not going to answer, right? But you have to do it, make another one, and make another one. I've hired a bunch of salespeople lately on the acquisition side, and it's just the biggest issue is they're just not making the calls. I'm literally handing them leads. And when I go through the numbers, you see the ones that aren't winning are the ones that aren't making the calls. And I mean, I get it. It's not for everyone. If like you do this, you do it for a month, do it for months too, and it's like you hate it, you can't do it. There's other things you can do. You can find people to do sales. You can find, maybe this just isn't for you in general. But you don't know until you try, right? And I guarantee it's not as scary as you're building up to be. So you really just have to get out of your head, right? If you're stuck in your head, you're dead. It's one thing I like to remind myself too. You need to shift from overthinking, overanalyzing, really just procrastinating to doing, taking these actions, right? Again, making calls, talking to sellers, making offers, following up, sending the contracts, right? Even if you just do this for like 2 hours a day, right? If you just do 2 hours a day of prospecting, making calls, getting offers out, if you do this long enough, and again, you can do it incorrectly, you're not going to be perfect, right? Imperfect action always beats perfect action, because imperfect action happens and it's faster, it's consistent, you're not procrastinating. So you just need to get out there and start doing it. And one of the best ways you can do that, is again, coming to, an event like Wholesaling Syndicate Live, where we're going to make you make the calls, right? If you're that terrified, you're stuck in your head and you're like, hey, I, I don't want to make the calls, you're stuck to doing it alone. You just can't get over that hump. Come to our event. We're going to make you make calls, right? We're going to give you leads. We're going to have calls with you. People like myself, RJ Bates, Travis Wells, John Leland, Joey Bibbo. We're going to be in that room helping you make calls, helping you close deals, coaching you through what to say. Another great thing, sign up for the boiler room, right? We're bringing the boiler room back. That's coming back soon. We're right there, just put yourself in the hot seat. And I think you're going to be surprised at how much more capable you are at doing this and how much less scary it is. How much easier it is than you're probably building up to be in your head. So really, you just really got to do that, right? I've seen people come to the events. We've seen people in the boiler room. If you guys have listened to it, get deals that have never made a call before, right? They didn't have the perfect pitch, but they called the right person at the right time, and they made the offer, and they followed the right system, and they got the deal, right? Just because they took action. So action eats, action gets rewarded. Being passive doesn't, right? There's a time and place when you do, have to work on the business, but when you're just starting, again, if you're that person who hasn't got a deal yet and you're stuck in this information overload phase, most important thing you can do every day is take the right actions. Taking the right action, yeah, is making the calls, doing the work. So really, just again, you just have to figure out like where are you at, right? Are you brand new? First time you've heard about wholesaling, then yeah, of course you need to learn just a little bit, listen to this podcast, hop in the school community, we give you everything you need. But if and again, you don't have to know all the steps, but if you know what step to take, you have a script, you have a phone, you have leads to call, or you have a list to call, you have someone to call. You just got to make the call, right? And it's really that simple. I know it's not rocket science, but if you can just get yourself to do that, that's really it, right? That's the battle, right? If you just get over that, you're going to start winning, right? And you just need to do it consistently, and it's going to pay off, right? It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So I'd say most people don't. Like most people don't lack the information, right? Most people fall into this camp that we're talking about, which is they're in the information overload, the information gathering phase, and they just stay there, right? They don't lack the info. They lack the momentum. They lack the consistency, the right habits, and the proximity. So another great way to do this is get around people that are doing it, right? Like maybe you know someone else that's in there, you can shadow, see them make calls. There's so many people that have endless calls of them making calls live that you can listen to. Again, just don't do that forever, but it's a great way to see it, right? So like if you listen to someone like Joey Bibbo, who was on the show last week, he goes live every day, makes calls, and just shows you it's really not that scary. RJ Bates is another great example, probably one of the best examples out there. Someone who does a great job making calls live, showing you exactly what it takes, and it's not as complicated, not as scary as you may. You can go back, look at my stuff. I have hours and hours and hours of me making calls. And it works, right? Like it's if you make the calls, it works, right? If you make enough calls, talk to enough people, get enough offers out, you're gonna get a deal. It's really just a numbers game. But I think really one of the best things you can do is come to the event, right? Come to Wholesaling Syndicate Live, September 19th and 20th. We're going to give you everything, right? We're going to give you all the information. We're going to give you all the action so you have it, or you won't have any excuse that I don't know what to do. You're going to have exactly what to do. You're going to have the scripts, the contracts. We're going to have people in the room, the best in the industry, helping you close these deals. And we're going to make the calls, right? There's something crazy, right? We did this event last year. If you guys were there, you already know. But we had, 16-year-old kid never made a call before, close the deal. We had so many people never made a call before, close the deal. And it's just like the energies, it's like electric. It's almost magnetic. When you're in that room, there's that many people making calls, and you hear people getting people on the phone, you hear people getting closer and closer, and you're seeing deals get locked up live. You can't help but jump in. It's one of literally the best things you can do is come to the event and just be an action taker, because you need to be an action taker if you want to win. So if you're ready, if you're this person I'm talking to that's stuck in this camp of I'm being just I'm sitting on the sidelines, but I want to jump in. I just need that push. Come to the event, right? I'm doing a special ticket, a special promo for you guys. It's going to be an action taker one, right? Because again, the whole point of this is action wins. So we're doing an action taker discount. Yeah, it's not as good as the early bird one, but if you missed that, I mean, you missed out. But I'm doing 30% off. So if you go to the site now, you go to live.wholesalingsyndicate.com, or you click the link in the show notes. You're going to see it's right there, right? You're going to get 30% off. So literally $70, whatever, less than $100. It's 60 something bucks. And I don't know the exact number. I think it's like 67 or something. You can get in here, you can get this room, you get around these people and make calls, right? Like even if you don't get a deal, right? Because, a couple hundred people come in, out of that, maybe like 10% of the room will get a deal, you know, but if you can just get over that habit, like it's so much more valuable for you to come get everything you need and just get the right habits and be around the right people, and then just turn this into a real business, right? Don't just make this, a side hustle or a one-off thing. Turn this into a business. I've seen so many people, help so many people be able to quit their W-2s, transition from a job they hated to be able to do this full time and make real money, right? Because the money's there, but you have to bet on yourself. You have to take action. So come to the event again, September 19th and 20th, Wholesale and Syndicate Live, right downtown San Antonio. We have a badass venue. This isn't just another event. This isn't your uncle's pitch fest. This is where deals happen, closers are made, and we're going to change people's lives. So love to see you there. Again, I got the special discount link for you guys listening to the podcast. And that's it, right? So don't just be a learner. Don't just sit on the sidelines and keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You just take action, right? Because action wins. Love to see you there. Love to shake your hand. Come meet some cool people. Come have some fun. Let's close some deals. Let's get you off the sidelines and let's get you making some money.